In 2024, Michele was approached at an event by a kick streamer who pressed her to say, "God is good." Her response speaks volumes.
I hear God is good. God is good. God is so good.
God is ball. Now, the big added benefit of talking about this particular topic, and especially the one that we're talking about here, is that it all connects back to becoming Brigitte. The Brigitte Macron situation, the Candace one, all that. Why I do 100% believe that this threat on her life is very likely to be real and very likely to come from the Macrons. It has nothing to do with them being heads of state. It has to do with their other circle. It has to do with the other circles that they run in, which she was starting to uncover and starting to unfold. And it's a lot more important than whether or not Brigitte Macron was born a dude or not. This gets so dark. So the way that I try to manage this channel is I just talk about whatever people want to hear about in most cases. And that is very obvious by how they are promoted on the platform and what people are clicking on, so on and so forth, etc. But if someone asked me what my favorite topics to talk about are, that would probably be a different answer than what I am primarily talking about recently, because I think the most interesting thing that I talk about is the connection between like elites, celebrities, so on, so forth, elites in finance and all of that, to the blaring appearance that they worship deities that are definitely coming from down below, if you know what I'm talking about, okay? 666, those guys, right? And I'm going to do a special video today about that, because the more you get into the Epstein stuff, the more you get into literally any string that you pull on in this category leads somewhere messed up, like where you're like, and I'm going to show you, I'll give you like a preview. This is an episode that I just watched of Sean Ryan's show where Dr. Dan Schneider did a very long episode. And this is just the short from it, so you get an idea of where we're going. And then I'm going to show you another video. This one's actually from Dauntless Dialogue. I'm going to show you a portion of a video from Dauntless Dialogue. And I just feel like there are so many people that literally do not realize the world that they live in. Like, it's like, if, the majority of people, if you went up to them and you're like, what would you think about the idea that a high number of famous people that you pay attention to when things happen in their life, they look glamorous, they look whatever, openly worship Satan without saying it, without going into interviews and being like, yeah, man, straight up, that's who I worship. But they basically tell you, and then when you really look, they are announcing it in every possible way. And in some cases, they actually announce it. By the way, Jesse, why does your face look like that? Oh, well, yesterday I was out at Heavy Duty Country's ranch in the sun, did not respect the sun. And then today I went golfing with my daughter, also did not respect the sun. So I'm sunburnt and I look terrible. And I just don't know why I wore a red shirt, because it makes it look worse. Nonetheless, check this out.
Abramovic.
Oh, and by the way, at Dan's house, what we did is we shot 30-06 frange rounds at meat, okay? We saw whether it would go through meat and then potentially through, concrete or whatever. Listen, maybe we answered some burning questions about the Tyler Robinson theory, because we did. We definitely did. I got the only 30-06 frange rounds on the internet, and we shot them yesterday, so look out for that.
A lot of talk about her paintings, who she's around. Charles, that has the painting of pentagram, or Lucifer himself that's in the painting, but it's hidden. Is any of it a coincidence?
I don't think there's any coincidence.
I mean, I don't either.
There's three types of curses: natural curses, there's generational curses, and then there's these preternatural curses. Within that, you have things like Freemasonry, theurgy, alchemy, and what we call pelican witchcraft. Pelican witchcraft, or those types of witchcrafts, used more bodily, again, a mockery of the Holy Eucharist.
Do you think that the purchaser of the painting understands what's inside there?
Yeah, I do.
So what they're talking about is in the painting where Marina Abramovic and the Rothschild guys. As a matter of fact, check this out. So it's funny. The painting that he was referencing in that video was a different painting than this one. But this right here is Lord Jacob Rothschild and Marina Abramovic in front of the painting titled Satan Summoning His Legions. Now, I'm pausing this real quick to say I love all of you guys. Thank you so much for 2025. It's been an incredible year. I'm hoping 2026 can be as as good for the channel and for all of you as this one was, because I had an amazing year and I hope you guys did too. If you guys would love to subscribe to this channel, or want to subscribe to the channel, I would very much appreciate that. And if you guys would like this video, that would be awesome too. Now, this is a new documentary. It's from a few weeks ago on Dauntless Dialogue. I am telling you that Dauntless guys are smart enough to know I'm definitely a net positive, because I promote that platform. Like anytime I use their stuff, I say over and over and over and over and over, Dauntless Dialogue. Okay. It is incredible. It has all of Mouthy Buddha stuff. Mouthy Buddha disappeared for years and he was on Dauntless Dialogue. There's unbelievable Mouthy Buddha content that you've never seen. But in addition to all of that, no one covers this topic better than the creators that are on Dauntless. Watch this.
Michele Lami is a cultural and fashion icon from France. Not only has she used fashion as an outlet, but in many ways, her whole life could be seen as performance art. She was born and raised in the Alps near Oyonnax, worked a cabaret in Paris in the 70s, practiced law, owned and ran 2 landmark restaurants in Hollywood, and has been described as La Grande Prêtresse Démoniaque de Hollywood, the great demonic priestess of Hollywood.
And I'm sorry, where did they say she's from again? France. I feel like that's come up recently. Did we talk about that yet? Depends on where you are, where I end up putting this in the video. But if you haven't seen it yet, we are definitely going to be talking about the connection between this and the prime minister and wife of France, and that connection to Candace Owens' series on Brigitte Macron. But to try to explain how prevalent this seems to be in France, the Satan stuff, would be very difficult. And if you haven't watched the Becoming Brigitte series, you should absolutely watch it. If for no other reason, and you don't care if Brigitte's a man or not, for this reason.
Just like Abramovic, her work and her life are steeped in the occult.
And do you believe in God?
I don't know what that God is. I believe, I believe in DNA. I believe that genes have memory. I really believe in civilization. I don't have a religion that to put a name on it. But because the more the sciences are finding, I'm more proud of humanity and people that can behave like incredible human beings are without the help of a God.
Do you understand what they're doing? Do you understand what the strategy is here, or what they're doing? Okay. So let's just operate from a perspective of assuming that she is a Satanist, right? I don't know for sure, right? No way to know for sure. But let's say that she was, for a thought experiment that I am going to use and not get sued. Okay. So what they do is it's their job to pull people away from God, right? Like, you want people to be away from God. And how do they do that? They can do that from a number of different ways. Okay. They can tell people that God hates them if they're gay, or they can do any of that, lots of that stuff. One of the reasons why, very prevalent over there. Or they can lean heavy into science in a way that is meant to kind of disprove God. They will also look like they're elevating humanity. I don't know if I believe in God. What I do know is that DNA and humanity is whatever the overall doctrine and the core belief of at least the Church of Satan, which is, I think, very different than what this is. The Church of Satan with God, what's his name? Antonio Levine. It was the really public one. From my perspective, seems to have been much more showy. It was actually they're out there. They're hey, we're the Church of Satan, man. And what we believe is just indulge in what your human desires are, man. There's no one up there judging you, dude. Just indulge yourself, right? So it's all about this idea that humans are, just take what you want, man. Do what you want. No one, hey, we're not judging you, dude. We're not judging you. It's yeah, does this sound familiar, guys? To Diddy as an example, I mean, in some cases, very much more predatory, but even to the not predatory aggressive stuff, it's like, hey, man, he's like, hey, why don't you try this? Why don't you try this? How about Epstein? Sound familiar? You know, come on, man, just come to the island, do whatever. And in her case, it's like, listen, this is like, I believe in humanity. It is a very sneaky, clever way to look like good people as you promote the idea that people should not believe in God and should definitely not follow any Christian doctrine.
When asked about her belief in God, she maintains an atheistic facade with one hand, while throwing up all the telltale signs and signals of different story with the other. In a 2012 interview, Lami is described with a sorceress-like aura. As a sorceress, Michele looks at the occult as a part of our humanity. She has a collection of voodoo masks and pieces of anthropological artifacts that she finds alluring. She dresses as a goddess, a shaman, and when asked if she subscribes to any superstitions, cults, pagan religions, occult practices, or voodoo, she answered, "Belief is a way to express a memory of your genes." So what's in her genes exactly?
See? Belief is a way to express a memory of your genes. Genes. Same exact thing. Science, man. Like, and believe me, I'm not in any capacity saying that science should be ignored. I'm not like, the earth was created in 7 days and like dinosaurs aren't real, like that kind of stuff. I'm saying I've never understood the idea of how scientific breakthroughs would be in any way a challenge to the existence of a higher power, God, or whatever. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, oh, okay, so you understand how the building blocks of matter work. Okay. And then there's all kinds of stuff underneath that you can't explain at all, because I've looked at many weird things related to like quantum physics that just break the way that scientists think they understand like reality. But even if that wasn't the case, who created the science, dude? Where did it come from? I don't understand. But what they do, right, is they use the science as a way, like, what's her actual message here? Okay. Genes, no God. Like the human is the God, like the people are their own God.
In 2024, Michele was approached at an event by a kick streamer who pressed her to say, "God is good." Her response speaks volumes.
I hear God is good. God is good. God is so good.
God is Ball. Do you guys know who Ball is? I should have this pulled up. You know what? Never mind. If you don't know, look up Ball as it relates to the Balenciaga scandal, and that'll lead you down a rabbit hole. That is a deep one, so let's continue.
You don't believe in God? I get a God is good.
Lami's presence lurks in the periphery of the spotlight, strategically placed on the bridge between high fashion and music. With a grin full of crooked gold teeth and fingers stained black, her look is unmistakable. It's not hard to imagine why she's rumored to be the one the execs call when an artist wants to level up through the occult. She's also the co-founding partner of Owens Corp with her husband, the notorious Dark Prince of Fashion, Rick Owens. Over 30 years his senior, Owens considers Lami his muse, crediting her with the success of his post-apocalyptic dystopian-style fashion brand. In a 2017 tribute to Michele by Red Bull Music, Owens said this about his bride.
Ready for this? Okay, you guys just saw all the imaging, right? Okay, obviously those things are meant to look like scenes out of hell, right? All of that. Listen to what he says about his wife that he's been together with for, if you looked at that, years. Okay, listen to this.
When I was in my rock crystal crib, my wet nurse was warned of a demon that would hunt me down and violate me. I never know when she's going to stab me, but one day I'm going to shoot her in the head, right before I shoot myself. Ah, c'est ça l'amour. In 2022, Rick Owens' Dark Star sneaker brand released their infamous collab with Converse called Turbo Dark that featured two demonic, androgynous models forming a pentagram with their bodies, a far cry from Converse's traditional Americana roots. This juxtaposition is highly representative of their work's intended effect on society. Much like Abramovic, Lami has extensive connections in the upper echelon of society and is regularly seen in public being fawned over by some of the biggest artists and celebrities in Hollywood.
Why do you think that is, guys? What's their connection to her? You know what I mean? What is all of their connection to her? Why do these people know each other like this? You're looking at what I'm looking at, right? This woman is terrifying. Honestly, like, as I'm saying this out loud, I'm like, geez, I mean, honestly, this is very scary. And for the record, guys, if for any reason I end up on your radar and you don't like what I'm saying, just like call me, man. You know, you just call me and be like, you should keep your stupid mouth shut, Jesse on Fire. I know I look like a, real like, combative, like a real combative guy. And, if you tried to roll up on me and, I don't know, like take something from me in person, like I would probably be ill-advised. But I am terrified of this kind of thing and all of you guys because I believe in this stuff. I am not going to join your team, but I do believe in it, and I am very afraid of them, dude. Like, these people, look at this is what I don't understand. Like, how could you not entertain this being completely real? And I don't mean just real that they do the rituals, whatever. I'm talking real, like, look at what they've received. Like, Jay-Z and them all, Lady Gaga with all this stuff, like with Marina Abramovic, like they are like really close. And this woman with all of these people, like, do you see something different here? Does this person look like someone that you'd go out of your way to be like, hey, how are you? Like, unless it's like, well, what do you guys have in common? Did she broker a deal for you potentially or something?
Including Usher, the Migos, Travis Scott, Kim Kardashian, Cardi B, Kanye West, and A$AP Rocky, who in that same 2017 tribute claimed Michele as his mentor, stating, "She guided me in the right direction as far as tasteful art, preference, and aesthetic. Michele is involved in shaping and changing a lot of things as far as life, culture, and art."
So there you go. But what is it about this picture that seemed important for them to take a photo in front of? They're all, well, it's a picture of Satan summoning his legions. And you're all, right. And this is Lord Jacob Rothschild, who is, I think at the time of this photograph, was, I honestly, like, if you see me stuttering like that and you see me like, 90% of the time in a topic like this, I'm thinking to myself, should I be talking about these people, man? Like even talking about these people? Because what I was going to say is, you want to know who the real most powerful people in the world are? Like actual, for real, most powerful people. If you think they're like the president of the United States is the most powerful person in the world, maybe for like a little bit, like short period of time. But the Rothschild family, okay, the reason you don't ever see them listed on the wealthiest families in the world lists is because they are the system, okay? If you who's the wealthiest person in the world? It's like, Bill Gates is worth blah, 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 blah. You're all, how'd you calculate that? Well, it's publicly known that his holdings in Microsoft equal 200 billion. And then he owns this, and this. And then, even if you include his nonprofit, whatever, you're all, okay. So you're talking about known public shares. You don't know anything about what he has in private equity, right? Like these private equity, accounts that follow his, Bill and Melinda Gates account. Listen, maybe it's someone else's money, but let's just say if his money's in private equity, you would have no idea that it's his, right? Sure. Okay. So you don't really know what his net worth is, right? I'm not talking about that with the Rothschilds, okay? What I'm talking about with them is that who owns the Federal Reserve? Who owns the central banks? Because everybody seems to not understand how this actually works. Because you sit like people, I say it out loud, and then, or not just me, but lots of people say it out loud. They're like, they're not government organizations. They are privately owned. They are a business. They are literally a business, the same as your business. I mean, not the same, but the same as Apple or any of these other ones, just not publicly traded. Okay. And the way that you know who owns what in the Federal Reserve, at least as an example, there's plenty of other central banks we could discuss, is there is a cap table, capitalization table, but there's nothing ever displayed in terms of percentages. Okay. So as an example, if there were a single family or a couple families that owned a non-dilutable portion of the central bank to say the tune of 25%, just pulling a number out of the air, that no matter how many member banks get added to that cap table, 1,800, 2,000, whatever it is, they never have their ownership percentage changed, which I would bet my bottom dollar is exactly what the situation is, because we know it's a secret meeting that got this whole thing set up. And if you think that their positions are getting diluted when you add member banks, I disagree. I disagree that that is the likely scenario. So you have these people who, the central bank, which is the entire currency system. And if you're talking about the United States, which we are, you're talking about the entire global currency system belongs to a family. Okay. If you have a 20% stake in they own everything. Like, think about it like this. Every single asset in America or on Earth or whatever that was purchased with a loan. Okay. Ultimately, the owner of that loan is the central bank, because the central bank is the backbone of the fractional banking system, which each of these banks that lends this money out and charges interest, well, they are paying interest to the central bank. And that is Mr. Summoning Satan's legions right here. Okay. So that is important to understand. And if you just kind of scroll up and you're looking around, I mean, this is all just Marina Abramovic, right? Can you tell performance, Lady Gaga? So this is this thing was from the French, opening ceremonies. Marina Abramovic, this is all Marina Abramovic stuff. Everybody, who knows anything about this topic knows exactly who she is. Now, I do think it's interesting, given the fact that Candace has been doing the Becoming Brigitte series, and people have been questioning, questioning her reporting on that. And all they focus on is they're like, Brigitte is not a man. And it's like, guys, you want to know the biggest tragedy about the Brigitte lawsuit against Candace is that people who really know that topic, that really know, I'm not talking about the Brigitte one, the one underneath it. Okay. Everyone could see where this was going. She was using the Brigitte Macron story to expose something much bigger, much darker, and much more likely to get her killed. And that's why I have always fully believed that there was or is an active contract against her because if you've never watched Becoming Brigitte and you just thought, oh, it's just ridiculous, Candace Owens saying that Brigitte Macron's a man, dude, go watch it. Go watch it. Okay, and know that all this satanic stuff behind it is real. It's real. Okay. And the Paris Olympics was one of those moments where they tipped their hand. Look at it.
Performing the song King costumes.
Right? Like, remember the opening ceremony? And they did the drag queen Last Supper. Okay? Like, what these people do, when you watch that episode of the Sean Ryan show, what they do is everything is to do the inverse and mock the symbols and rituals of Christianity in reverse, mock them, or do like the it's either like make fun of them or do the dark version, and it's just make it very clear that they are the enemy of whatever your ideology is. And I find it hilarious that they always try to present themselves as atheists. That's the thing they act like publicly, but then behind the scenes, what do? They are anything but that. Anything but that. Okay. So, look at all this stuff, dude. I'm going to lose myself in the whole video here doing this stuff, but look at this, like Baphomet, they got Snoop Dogg doing Baphomet. Baphomet is a deity which the Knights Templar were accused of worshiping that subsequently became incorporated into various occult and Western esoteric traditions. The name Baphomet included, where did that go? The name Baphomet appeared in trial transcripts for the Inquisition of the Knights Templar starting in 1307. Baphomet is a transgender representation of Satan. Okay? Again, Baphomet is a transgender representation of Satan. You can read about a detailed history of Baphomet here. Okay? And then look at these pictures. Okay? Pick number 4. This is, there we go. Whoops. Wait, where'd it go? There you go. Baphomet right there. These are Baroness Philippine another Rothschild. So another Rothschild wearing Baphomet, the transgender is this person born a man? I don't know. And then this, the eternal Satanist conjure for everything Christian is known for the centuries. I mean, this stuff is, they don't even hide it, man. This one is another, so this one, pick 4. Okay, so this one is the Rothschild Ball of 1972. Very, very, very well-known thing that actually the documentary that I am going to show you shortly is from this. Now, I might end up switching up the order. Like sometimes when my nature is I just start talking and then I realize, oh, I just went off and they haven't even seen this stuff yet. So I'll probably have shown you that first, actually. But yeah, I mean, Snoop wearing that is very weird.